said it joking around one day, and it was like, because it was kind of like just kind of a challenge from the industry that we're like, all right, let's freaking go. We're going to do this.
Welcome to Real Leadership, the show that cuts through the clutter to spotlight leaders who make, move, and process things in the real economy. This isn't about buzzwords or theories. It's about bold decisions, solving challenges, and the strategies driving industries that matter. I'm Jim Weaver, CEO of the Owner Group. In every episode, we get real about what it takes to turn vision into action and obstacles into opportunities. Let's go.
Welcome back to Real Leadership. Our guest today is Zac Elkins, Chief Operating Officer of LFG Manufacturing and a seasoned construction and operations executive with deep roots in the electrical and design build industry. Zac began his career in the family business, working at Elkins Electrical in Central Florida, where he gained hands-on experience as an estimator and project manager. He joined Power Design in 2011 and has spent more than a decade advancing through that organization, holding roles including project engineer, project manager, regional senior, and executive vice president before stepping into his current role as COO of LFG Manufacturing. That's Power Design's specialty manufacturing division. Throughout his career, Zac has been responsible for executing strategic vision at scale, overseeing project delivery from planning through completion while maintaining safety and quality. His leadership spans large, complex projects and includes direct oversight of quality control, safety functions, ensuring consistent performance across teams and markets. Zac is known for his ability to align teams, adopt new technologies, and drive operations excellence. Beyond the job site, he's played an active role in company initiatives, from rolling out field technology to fostering culture through team competition, sometimes in a beach volleyball context, I understand. So he covers it all. Welcome, Zac.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it, man. Glad to be here.
Good to have you. Okay. So tell us about Power Systems, who you are, what you do, and then if you would share with us your division, LFG, and how that fits into the broader ecosystem.
Yeah. So as you said, I've been with Power Design, the Permia family. It's really a $1.5 billion mom and pop shop, and I've been with them since 2011, like you said, and it's been a great ride. It's coming out of a small family owned business. It was really eye opening to me. It's just the opportunities I've been presented here have been great, and I appreciate all that the family's done for me, all the opportunities I've had here. Like as you said, I've been able to really just grow my career, and what I love about this place is it's all about performance. You know what I mean? I put my head down and gone to work every day, and like you said, I really enjoy building teams. I've learned over the years that that's my strength, right? You have your Steve Jobs and your Steve Wozniaks of the world. I'm the doer. I'm the implementer, right? So I've been fortunate to be surrounded by people who have great ideas, and I've just always latched onto those ideas and been really able to leverage my strengths on implementing, really cool stuff. And that's what's set Power Design apart in the last, we've been 37 years now. That's really what set us apart in the industry, is we continue to just push the envelope to really put ourselves in the industry in uncomfortable positions. Construction's it's a slow market to make change, to adopt technologies, to try things differently. And we've pushed that from the very beginning, and that's why we've been so successful.
How would you describe who you are in the construction industry? That's a vast industry. So just for listeners, so they understand what we're talking about here, where do you fall in that space?
Largely, Power Design, we started in the multifamily industry, doing garden style walk-up type apartment buildings. That's where we cut our teeth. And in the last really 20 years, we've focused heavily on high-rise construction and really the multi-dwelling unit. So anything from apartments, condos, student housing, assisted living, hotels. That's really where we've grown. And over the last 3 or 4 years, really maybe like 5 to 7 years, we've branched out into the sports and entertainment industry. Well, we've done a few stadiums. One of my favorite projects was I'm a Florida State grad, so we did the Doak Campbell Stadium renovation recently. That was super fun project and challenging for us, something new. We're in the data center world, of course. We're doing some data center projects. It's hard not to these days. And then doing some really big office buildings. There's surprisingly still a lot of office construction going out there. So I think last year we were number 8 list of the largest electrical contractors in the country.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and a lot of that being we have our own. What's set us apart is just really kind of the taking control of the entire supply chain. Again, hence my current role is on the manufacturing side, but taking control of the supply chain and really finding those pinch points and just the construction schedule and, like I said, the supply chain that slow a project down. At the end of the day, our job as an electrical contractor, the electrical contract on a large project, our average electrical contract today is probably in the $13 or $14 million range. And that's typically 10% of the total value of a project. We're doing a $100 million electrical project in Richmond right now. It's the CoStar U.S. headquarters. Really, really cool job. We're getting close to wrapping that up. So, anywhere from total of like a $200 to $1 billion total project is the type of projects we're working on. So, the electrical contractor is responsible for anything, of course, lights and plugs that you see every single day, but the entire electrical infrastructure, all the switchboards on the project, all of the electrical distribution, everything that powers the building. And that also entails, your low voltage systems technologies like, your audio video systems, your lighting control systems, your access control and CCTV systems. We've brought all that in-house where the traditional player in this industry, they kind of just work with other subs and just kind of maybe bolt on different companies and call them their own, and it's fragmented and just there's not a seamless workflow, and it trips up the schedule. And we over the years have decided that if we can bring all this in house, we can provide our client the product that they purchased every single time on time. You know what I mean? And it's just set us apart. And we started buying our own light fixtures, and we built our own lighting distribution facility 20 years ago. And we buy direct from a few hundred different manufacturers, and we try to be strategic. Part of our design build process, we have I think 18 professional engineers on staff and a couple hundred people in our engineering department. We're one of the largest engineering firms in the country. So just taking full control of the process has allowed us to, again, just control our own destiny and deliver on time.
So LFG, you are manufacturing your own switchgear.
It's correct. Yep. Correct.
Okay. And that is the division that you're leading. What was the point for that? Because that's a big bet.
It's a big move. Yep.
Tell me about the point where you guys decided, man, this supply chain is broken. What's the point of no return that pushed you guys to go all in and just go ahead and manufacture your own switchgear?
So that's a great question, and like many industries, coming out of COVID, the world stopped for a year and a half, 2 years, and when everything reopened, it was just a race to start the projects, right? And that's really where the data center world kind of really hit its pace too, and really started to take off. And the hyperscalers just really, as you know, dumped billions and billions into the industry. And we couldn't, for a switchboard, at PowerZine, we probably purchased maybe 300 or 400 switchboards a year, right? Purchased and installed. For eternity, you could get that switchboard, a 4,000 amp switchboard, let's say, in 12 to 16 weeks, right? You place the order, you wait 3 months, and your switchboard shows up. That went from 12 to 16 weeks to 52 weeks to 60 weeks to close to 90 weeks at one point.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Like I said earlier, we want to deliver on time, and we don't ever want to be that contractor or partner that it has a reason why the job got delayed, right? It's just that's not in our DNA, and that's why we've taken all these other pieces of the supply chain and brought them in house. And so when we had to tell owners that they weren't getting their building on time because they couldn't get permanent power because we didn't have our switchboards, it was we were embarrassed. And that went on for 2 or 3 years, and we fought the fight. And finally we just decided, let's just try it. Let's see if we can invest in some equipment. We invested The Permy family invested probably, I don't know, maybe $5 to $7 million in some equipment, which is a decent investment, right? Into, press brakes and laser cutters and powder coating machines. And we started building gear to make sure when that project needed it, we could provide the equipment on time. And we did that for about a year and maybe about 6 months, and we realized this is actually not as hard as it we thought it was, right? So despite how it is pretty complex, but with the technology today, between what you can do with AutoCAD and the 3D designs and the CNC machine programming, like it's really, once you get some reps in, like a lot of things in life, you can really hit your stride. And so we had success early on, and then we decided, all right, let's take this to the next step and really see how far we can take this. And that's kind of when I came on about 6 months ago. It hasn't been very long.
Yeah.
And now today we have, last year we built like 20 switchboards. This year we're going to build 300 switchboards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a huge ramp up, and it's like I said, it's going well. Something that we're going to do different at LFG, and LFG stands for Let's Freaking Go, by the way. It's not like, it really does. Or you can use whatever F word you prefer.
That sounds like an Elon Musk name.
That's exactly. And we kind of said it joking around one day, and it was like, because it was kind of like just kind of a challenge from the industry that we're like, all right, let's freaking go. We're going to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are an OEM, an original equipment manufacturer. We work with, we started with a South Korean breaker manufacturer called LS Electric. They're a subsidiary of LG Electronics, big name. They've been around for 50 years. They've done a ton of business in the medium voltage and high voltage space, obviously overseas, but then in the States as well. They made a big push a couple years ago, and we're looking for partners. We linked up with them, and it's been great. They make a great product. We're still trying to get the word out there that for your typical consulting engineer that's never heard of LS Electric, and we've got some work to do there. But they were really helpful for us getting moving, getting some momentum. And we're also we can build for. There's really, let me back up. There's really four major players in the United States when it comes to electrical distribution equipment, and you've probably heard all these names. You've got Siemens. They're all the big national or world players. Siemens, ABB bought GE Industrial a few years ago. You have Square D or Schneider, and you have Eaton. So you have four major players, and what we learned out of COVID is that most of them source their components from one or two established around the world, one or two overseas manufacturers. So that's where the pinch point really became glaringly obvious. And we're all, the whole world is relying on, a handful of manufacturers out there.
Modernization, integration, infrastructure, AI readiness. Onin Technology helps industrial IT leaders build momentum without the resume bloat or vendor babysitting. We deliver talent vetted by real subject matter experts, scoped project teams built for results, and consulting from tech leaders who've done the work. Contract to hire, direct hire, or statement of work, we do what fits. Ready to move? So are we. Visit onintechnology.com.
So what percent of your switchgear are you producing in-house at this point? And are you trying to get to 100 or is it a segment of it?
Yeah. So for power design this year, we'll produce maybe 85% of our own product in-house. Yeah. Which again, 6 months ago, I don't think we knew we'd be here. And we've hit our stride. We've hired some great people and really brought in some in-house talent from the construction side that really understands what the end user wants, right? There's an electrician out there installing that switchboard, and he or she, they take pride in their work. They take pride in the products they're installing, and we understand that because that is in our DNA. So we're taking an approach of, which is something unique, that we're gonna truly understand what the end user wants and build and custom tailor our equipment to that end user to make sure it's installed quickly, efficiently, and safely the day it hits the job site.
Wow, that's great. So I understand that you guys maintain a 2-year inventory of copper and steel. Is that
correct? Yep.
How are you balancing the financial risk of holding that much raw material versus the reward of having it on hand? What does that calculus look like?
It's funny that you say that because we don't see it as a risk. We see it as opportunity. And that is the manufacturing world today. You know, a lot of these, you know, the big automakers, they have a day of inventory, you know what I mean? And it's brought in every single day. Again, what separates us, but also as a private company, we're allowed to do that. It gives us that opportunity to invest in our own future. And that's what I love about our scenario. We've taken profits from the construction side and then reinvested into this sister company to make sure that if and when a crisis happens again, and you never know where I feel like we're a half a day away at any given point, right?
Yeah.
We have inventory on hand. So, you know, that came straight from Mitch Permy, our owner, is that, you know, we are willing to invest. We have the warehouse space. We have 350,000 square feet of space, and we're going to take advantage of that. And it's all, you know, climate controlled, air conditioned warehousing where we can store materials for extended periods of time, which again is very unique. The industry has just gotten so accustomed to, you get the order, you purchase the equipment, and then you manufacture when the equipment or the commodities or the components show up, right? That's not going to be our approach. It's we're ready to build it at any given time. If you give me the order, I will probably have that in stock. Wow.
Yeah, that to me, and I don't know your industry, but it just seems like such a competitive edge that investment and it's not like you're just burning it, money sitting in a bank account, or it's sitting in the form of copper, which has been a pretty good investment here the last year, right? Copper prices have been crazy.
No kid.
How do you see your industry evolving, or tell us about what's going on right now, just broader context in the construction industry? We were talking a little bit about this before we rolled tape, but and how you see things evolving over the next 5 years.
It's really hard to tell. It's been a unique few years coming after COVID, and like we talked about before we started, is the construction industry as a whole has been slow. We've had a few down years, and you take out the escalation on materials because of many different factors on why costs have escalated over the last few years. We've really been flat, or power design as a whole, we've been flat or even declined in revenue year over year. Our projects probably had a 30% increase in just raw costs from commodity driven materials, right? So yes, revenue's gone up, but all in all, our total workload has declined. So it's been interesting because it feels, with copper being around $6 a pound right now, and same with aluminum's still remaining at all-time highs, and demand as a whole in the industry is up, all because of the AI and the data center world. It's continuing the orders that from our perspective, and now as an equipment manufacturer, which is where I would love to go one day. Remind me to talk about where we want to take this thing later.
Where you want to take LFG?
LFG, correct.
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The demand for data centers is just gotten so, I don't want to say out of control, but just there's so much work and so much demand. It's keeping commodity pricing and labor costs too. Like what an electrician can make now is it's a heck of a career path, and it's so costs are continuing to go up, but the demand outside of the data center world is really not there. So it's just been tough. It's been tough for a lot of our developer partners, Power Design's development partners, and we know all the major developers around the country. That's really where something that's made us different is that we partner with the major multifamily developers and hotel builders and student housing builders, and it's really tough for them to make a project make sense today financially. It doesn't pencil. These jobs aren't penciling. And for us, they're asking us, Power's like, can you get more competitive? Can you shave off $1 million so I can help just throw a couple bucks into this thing to get it to go? And it's just hard to make the numbers move because like I said, the costs are sticky at best.
What are your plans for LFG? Tell us about that. What's your vision there? How do you see that playing out over the next few years?
It's hard to say no. It's hard to say no to the data center world, right? Because A lot of there's only a handful of OEMs out there. You have your 4 national players that I mentioned earlier, and they are just having the best years ever. They're selling. They can't keep up with the volume. Again, largely driven by data centers. I was talking to one of the major nationals just a couple weeks ago, and they were asking what our projections are for the next couple of years, and I'm telling them, hey, we're going to do $30 million this year. It's we did $9 million last year, so we're going to do $30 million this year, maybe 35, 40, and one of the people I was meeting with, so that's an order for us. Like that's a single order at on the low side. So they're taking just electrical equipment. They're taking 80, 90, $100 million orders at a time, and some of these hyperscalers. The Googles and the Metas of the world, they'll lock in a deal for a couple dozen data centers at 100 megawatts each. So that could be $1 billion equipment order for a national. Yeah. So
oh my goodness, yeah.
They're at capacity, no doubt, and now the major national players are really relying on the OEMs like LFG to support the workload. And it's a win-win for the nationals too, because they sell breakers, right? That's what they want to sell. And so for an OEM like us to be able to, do more of to handle the custom designs and take the unique projects that take more engineering, more expertise, more specialized labor and equipment to build that gear is great for them, right? Because they're big worldwide players. They want that assembly line approach where they're cranking out on an assembly line, and what goes into a data center is anything but assembly line. Off the assembly line, it's custom, unique equipment. Each of the hyperscalers have their own individual needs and expectations and different nuances on how they expect their equipment to be built and delivered. So that's really where I want to take this thing. I think that's where we're going to be, and we've got a few opportunities out there now to kind of tip our feet in the water and test it out. But it's been great that we have Power Design as really big brother helping us out, and like I said, we're gonna build $30 million in equipment this year for ourselves, and it's great. And I know, every superintendent we have out in the field that's receiving that switchboard, I'm talking to them on a daily basis, figuring out what they like, what they don't like, how we can improve. So it's been great for us to get those reps in with like I said, ourselves, to understand the end user, to find those mistakes, to develop our quality control process, to really develop the efficiencies in the manufacturing process as a whole, from design to delivery. So it's been a great practice round for us, but I really foresee us taking this thing really out, far beyond Power Design to do much more.
Yeah, and your company then can capture opportunity in places where you're not actually doing the construction work,
100%,
the electrical work.
Exactly.
Yeah, man,
exactly.
You can see a world where actually that could become the largest part of your organization.
Yes, exactly. It's a niche market too. There's not a lot of competition out there. And if you look at your major OEMs in the States for what LFG is doing, there's a handful, maybe a half a dozen that are really major players. So we're eager to get this thing moving and compete against some of the major national or OEMs out there.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about commodity and supply chain challenges. Everyone knows there's you touched on it, a skilled worker shortage. How are you guys dealing with that currently? How are you planning for that in the future? How are you thinking about that?
Yeah, it's a challenge, right? And I say one thing that we've seen, when I was finishing high school, you went to college. That's what you did. Everybody went to college. We didn't really know why. I went and got my degree in finance, and I'm still to this day not sure why I did that.
Yeah.
Because my dad was an electrical contractor, and I didn't want to be an electrical contractor. That's probably why. And look where I'm at now. So we're seeing a lot of excitement and a lot of interest from young people coming out of school and doing something other than college, right? And we talked about the pay rates for what a tradesman can make this year, not just electrical, but mechanical, HVAC work, plumbers, any craftsman, any trade, because it's become a dying art, a dying trade. The demand is high. pay, of course, is also high. So we've done a lot of studies, and we know that the apprenticeship program is a great alternative to college, and a lot of apprenticeship programs you can basically go through 4 years fully paid, right, and come out making well above what your counterpart in high school is going to make after 4 years in college with zero debt.
Yeah.
So we're really pushing. We've got a ton of outreach, not just the high schools, but trade schools and veterans and anyone, especially that those people that really they don't want to be in an office. They want to be out there working with their hands and building, and that's what I fell in love with the electrical trade, is that it's a true craft. You're building something, and every day you walk away, you take a step back, you're like, man, I did that. It's cool. Look at that building I built, or look at this electrical room that I built. Look at this 5,000 amp 480 volt switchboard that I installed, and I bent this pipe and I pulled the cable. It's rewarding.
Yeah.
We started we had our federally approved apprenticeship program for the electrical trade about 6 or 7 years ago, right? We just recently got approved for power design. Has also tiptoed into I should say tiptoed. We are all in the mechanical, the HVAC world, and the plumbing world as well. So it's MEP, mechanical electrical plumbing. So power design, we're doing full MEP. We'll do a couple $100 million this year in mechanical and plumbing work as well. So and we really foresee that as really just, again, taking full control of the supply chain and finding those pinch points that our clients are seeing on the projects, and just giving them the MEP, mechanical electrical plumbing, is a third of a project budget, right? So if they can take a third of the scope and give it to a single contractor and know that we're going to deliver on time, it's a no-brainer for them. My point is, we started our mechanical apprenticeship program 2 years ago, and just 2 weeks ago we just started our first plumbing apprenticeship class. Right, so we have our first 12 plumbing apprentices. Right, and it's an all in-house curriculum, fully online. Right, so you're in your traditional apprenticeship program. I know, especially for the electrical trade, was you're out there in the field. You're on the job at 5:30, 6 a.m. You're working 10-hour days. You go home, you shower, and you have to drive an hour across town to sit in class for 2 hours. And the dropout rate for a first year apprentice in the electrical trade was like 70-80%.
Yeah,
we just couldn't get young people to stick with it. So that's why we decided to. Let's see if we can bring this in-house. Again, let's take full control. Bring this in-house. We brought in our own
LFG.
That's right. Exactly. We brought it in-house. We took full control. We of course custom tailored the project to what we build and what we want these young people to learn. And it's been very successful. We have over 300 apprentices currently in our program, and but we've got a lot of work to do too. We would love to see that. We'd love to see 1,000 in our apprenticeship program if we can get there.
Workforce participation rates are at an all-time low in the U.S. This is a tragic waste of our nation's most valuable resource, its people. On top of this, we are seeing high school seniors across numerous high schools collect their diplomas and essentially walk off the graduation stage into unemployment. This divide is growing. To bridge this gap, Onan is working with high schools, business alliances, and employer champions to scale Ready to Work. Ready to Work, powered by Onan, builds career pathways for high school seniors looking to enter the workforce after graduation. So, if you're an employer or community partner looking to shape the future labor pool, this is your opportunity. Learn how you can join this effort by visiting readytowork.org.
So what does a week in the life look like then in your program? You had the comparison there, but tell me about that.
It's been really cool. It's allowed for an apprentice who shows up on a job. They're 18 years old and they walk into a 1 million square foot building under construction. Their eyes are huge. It's just like they can get lost in the shuffle really quick. But it's allowed us to one, custom tailor the program to the individual, two, to let our leadership on site and in the office know that we're gonna focus on you. We're gonna invest in you as an up and coming tradesperson, and we're gonna give you the attention you need and make sure you succeed. We're gonna track. Have you learned how to pull wire? I know it sounds simple, but have you learned how to terminate 500 MCM conductor into a 4,000 amp switchboard? We're just paying a lot of attention to make sure that they get what they need, and we're investing in them to truly grow their career and get the skills they need, and to be able to graduate and then go to the next level, to be able to be a lead electrician or a foreman and run a crew right after you're done with your 4-year degree or your 4-year apprenticeship program. And of course, make more money along the way. So that's number one. Two, like I said, we've pulled them out of the classroom setting, and it's all online learning, right? So we have our own online learning portal where they log in, they can do their things, take care of their kids they have to, eat dinner with their family, sit in front of the computer, pull up their book, and then learn what they have to learn for that night.
And they're doing it, so they're applying it during the day.
Yep.
And then they're doing their classroom work virtually at night.
Yes, correct.
That's great. That's
great. And we've seen our retention has just been unreal, like the best in the industry. And I think we're down to like a 20% turnover rate, like I said, compared to 80 in your traditional setting. So it's been very successful. And like I said, we really want to do more too. We really want to continue to grow this program.
All right. So you grew up early in your career, you were in the family business.
Correct. Yep.
What are some of the things you learned during those years that have stuck with you here in your new role? At
the time, I didn't realize that I was getting an education. I really had no idea. Every summer, every school break I had, I was on a service truck. I was, with one of my dad's electricians. I was digging ditches. I was crawling under old houses or in attics doing rewires. And at the time, as a kid, I'll be honest, I hated it. I didn't. It was not something that I wanted to do. Right. And like I said, I went to school for finance, and when I was done with school, my father was having a great run in 2007, like everybody was. And he asked me to come aboard, and I did. And it was a valuable experience for I think for both of us. I went in, I started doing all the estimating for him, and I was doing project management. My father, he hated to be in the office, and he just actually, I have an older brother that took over his business just a couple months ago, but he's an electrician, and he wasn't interested in the business side, right?
Sure. So
we worked together for about 4 years. And I cost him a lot of money. He invested in me. I did. I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm thankful for it now. I'm glad I had that opportunity, and we had some good times, and I think we both look back now and wish things would have been different. And unfortunately, our relationship was better if we didn't work together, right? So So that's when I started at Power Design, and it's been a great run. And I bet 90% of what my father and I talk about is electrical contracting. Like that's his passion, that's my passion. We love it, and it's a great bond that we get to share.
Looking back, you've had a great career, a young career, but you've had a heck of a run. Doesn't have to be in the family business. Just looking back, is there a favorite failure that you experienced that taught you a great lesson or put you on a little different path that comes to mind? Yeah,
there's many. I think like anyone, I've been in my professional setting for close to 20 years now, and there's of course many lessons learned. One that I tell my young people too is it's a small industry. I don't care what you're doing. It's a small world, and what goes around comes around. To say it plainly, young in my career as a young project manager wanting to do a good job, I burned some bridges and made some people mad, made the wrong people mad. And one a project I had in Virginia, I upset the concrete contractor, and that I learned you don't want to do that. That's it, because concrete contractors are, they are the lifeline of the project, and nobody gets in their way. And I upset them, and and we paid for it on the next project we did with them. And my counterparts are coming to me like, Zac, come on, dude. Like, what'd you do? So, I learned that the hard way. But like I said earlier, I think what I've learned on the positive side is just everybody is different and unique. And you really have to learn to appreciate people's strengths and understand their weaknesses, and then invest in that, right? For the most part, everybody has a place on the team. If they're a culture fit and they have drive and they want to compete and be successful, and not just their careers, but just in life, and you can harness that. And like I said, just custom tailor your mentorship to what they're good at, and then try to fill in those gaps with their weaknesses. You can really make success, like just for yourself and for them, by just harnessing that.
Is that competitiveness? Is that the characteristic that is the one that you wish everyone had, or is there another one to add to that list?
I think so. I know it's kind of oversimplifying it, but
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, just to find the want in somebody, right? And what drives each individual is different, right? So what success looks like for that person is obviously what's most important to them. But yeah, to find out how to really get your people energized and to get that competitive nature, and to see their peers not as risk, and to cut through that scarcity mentality where there's not enough to go around. There's plenty to go around, and there's no shortage of success, and we can all find that together. Being able to continually do that with each team I've had the ability to work with is, I think, what's really helped me to grow my career.
Yeah, that's what I love about your LFG story. You guys, that's not a scarcity mindset story. That's okay. There's a challenge. Let's turn it into an opportunity. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's a good way to put it. What challenges are we facing today? And then how do we turn that into an opportunity to make ourselves better, right? To take the lessons learned. We've all tripped up, of course. To learn from those mistakes and to make yourselves better is really what set Power Design apart. We call it our best practices, and it's all the hard lessons learned over the last. We've had this in place for about 15, 20 years. To take all those lessons learned, to document it, to put it in an online learning portal that all of our people have access to. If I can learn from your mistakes, I'm not going to make that same mistake, of course, right? So that's really where we've been able to take note of our missteps along the way and make sure that if that young person who just started a few weeks ago can learn from our mistakes, then we're probably not going to make that again moving forward.
Yeah. That's great. How are you thinking about, or how do you think about setting personal goals or targets, as well as, organizational targets? What practically, how do you frame that up within your budding organization there?
It's funny. It's been, as a 37-year organization, Power Design, we've gotten a really good rhythm on year over year projecting goals, and it's been easy. It's been tough with the new business at LFG to really project and truly have goals in place to where we want to be this year. But what's really difficult is 3, 4, 5 years or 10 years down the road, right? So, because I may put together a plan today, and tomorrow it's changing. Based on one, what I've learned about this industry. Two, how our people react, right? So I've been really impressed. We have a great group of people, and we only have about 40 people at LFG now. I went from a team on the Power Design side to around 1,000, right? So now, we have a core group of really good people who are energetic about what we're doing and really bought in. So I've been impressed by the goals we set, quickly achieving those faster than I had imagined. You know what I mean? So, when I looked at, we put together a plan for this year, and I look at, okay, we're going to build 300 switchboards this year. We built 20 last year, and really those 20 were done in the last 3 or 4 months of the year, right? So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this. Like, we've got just a lot of learning to do, a lot of a lot of processes and best practices and procedures and SOPs to put in place. A lot of certifications we still need to pick up along the way, but we just continue to meet those goals. And again, that's just I think that says a lot about just the culture at Power Design as a whole, and how that's transferred into LFG, and just the drive and the appreciation for the opportunity. Everyone that I'm working with, we just continue to meet those goals. So, man, looking at 3 to 5 years out, I have some thoughts in mind, but I think we're going to blow them out of the water. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And that's why I asked the question, because at the stage you're at and the growth rate and all the unknown, it can be challenging. So is your philosophy sort of then set more of a midterm? Let's set some midterm targets. Let's work toward that. See what unfolds in the next leg of the road, and yeah,
definitely. And we're very close to partnering with one of the nationals that I mentioned earlier. I can't quite say who yet, but we're very close to signing a partnership deal with them that is going to completely change our trajectory that we weren't expecting just a couple months ago, right? So it's taken a lot of work to get there, and they're willing to invest in LFG. We're willing to invest back into them and to partner on some of these, like I said, these really large data center projects are coming up, or even the other markets that Power Design's in, like the healthcare world. All the manufacturing coming to the States now is just, there's a lot of opportunity that this partnership is going to allow to unfold for us. So I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait to tell the world whenever we make this deal happen.
Well, it's gonna be fun to watch you over the next few years. That's exciting. Well, let's land it there. We'll put some links in the show notes. But how can folks connect with you to find out about opportunity with you guys as a growing company? Maybe the internship program. What are some good connection points for people?
Yeah, so I'd love to, if we could get my email out there for anyone that's interested. In the meantime, I'm on LinkedIn, of course. So anyone can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Find me there, or if not, I'll be able to get my email out there to you. And so of course it's, like I said, it's a small industry, and I've learned over the years that just developing relationships and talking to people and conversations and who you sit next to on an airplane, right, can lead to a long-term partnership.
Great. Okay, Zac. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been fun.
Of course. I appreciate being here. It's an honor. So thank you for having me.
Well, listeners, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep it real.
Thank you for listening. This podcast is powered by Onin, the staffing partner delivering real results for manufacturing, logistics, and food processing companies nationwide. To learn more, visit www.oningroup.com. Until next time, keep it real.